Every civilization leaves a shadow on the world. Some in stone, some in glass, some carried on the wind across open grasslands. Their wonders are more than structures. They are declarations of who they were, what they feared, and what they aspired to become. From the thunderous rituals of Tenochtitlan to the coronation vows whispered beneath Gothic vaults, from the solemn tomb of a Gothic king to pagodas rising like a prayer into the sky, and the golden tent of a ruler who shaped continents, each monument tells us a story of identity and power. Join me as we step across cultures and centuries to uncover the wonders that define the world and the people who build them. Let's swallow low. At the center of Tenochtitlan, the island capital of the Mexica Empire, the Templo Mayor rose as the sacred axis of a world carefully divided between gods, season, and cosmic cycles. To the Mexica, which is a more correct term than Aztecs itself, this was not merely a pyramid. It was Coatepec, the mythic serpent mountain rebuilt in stone to anchor their empire to the stories that shaped their identity. Constructed and expanded in a series of building phases from the early 14th century until the arrival of the Spanish in the early 16th, the Templo Mayor reached its greatest size during the reigns of emperors like Itzcoatl, Montezuma I, and Ahuitzotl. Atop its summit there were two distinct temples, one dedicated to Tlaloc, the deity of rain, fertility, and agricultural renewal, and the other to Huitzilopochtli, patron of the Mexica, god of the rising sun and war. Their duality formed the heart of the Mexica cosmology, the balance between life-giving waters and the solar force that demanded sacrifice to sustain the world. The pyramid stood within the sacred precinct, surrounded by ceremonial platforms, shrines, ball courts, and palaces. Here, rituals marked the agricultural calendar, the tribute cycle, and the moments of imperial transition. Architectural excavations ongoing since the late 20th century have revealed hundreds of offerings beneath its successive layers. Jade from distant lands, corals and shells from both coasts, obsidian blades, and sacred animal remains. These deposits formed a carefully structured dialogue with the divine, each layer representing the city's growth and spiritual obligations. The Templo Mayor stands today as the reminder that for the Mexica, divine architecture and cosmology were inseparable, an attempt to stabilize a universe in perpetual motion through ritual, memory, and the enduring power of the place. Rising over the plains of Champagne, the Cathedral of Notre Dame at Reims stands as one of medieval Europe's last luminous creations. A sanctuary where stone, glass, and ritual shaped the very identity of the medieval French kingdom. It was not merely a cathedral, it was the theatre of coronation, the place where kings were anointed with sacred oil and bound to a lineage stretching back to the baptism of Clovis in 496 AD. Construction of the present Gothic cathedral began in 1211, following a devastating fire that consumed its earlier predecessor. What emerged over the next century was a masterwork of high Gothic ambition, a facade alive with sculpture, a forest of soaring columns, and walls dissolved into shimmering expanses of stained glass. Its great western portals, crowned by the celebrated smiling angel, usher pilgrims into a space where verticality becomes a form of devotion, drawing the eye and spirit upward in a single unbroken ascent. The cathedral's role as the coronation site for the monarchs granted it a political weight unmatched by any other sacred building of the realm. From Louis VIII to Charles X, the kings of France passed beneath its vaults to receive the crown, the anointment, and the acclamations that legitimized their rule. Rheims became, in a sense, the spiritual anchor of the French monarchy, its stones echoing with the vows of kings and the hopes of their subjects. Though scarred by war, most notably during the First World War, when shell fire ravaged its roofs and sculptures, Notre Dame at Rheims rose again through careful restoration. Today it stands renewed, its glass glowing once more, its angel smiling once again. Now, those of you actually paying attention would have noticed that there are no pointed spires at the Notre Dame Cathedral in Rheims. However, I have a suspicion that the devs took some creative liberties with this wonder, because what kind of Gothic cathedral does not have pointed spires anyways?
The wonder that... No!
Well, apparently quite a few, but there's an iconic look to it. What do you think? Do you see some other cathedral that fits this wonder better? Let me know in the comments below. I have always loved the AoE2 cutscenes, and some of them are simply works of art. So I'm excited to announce the AoH Histories Store, set up to celebrate some of the very best artworks from the campaigns, so you get to appreciate them wherever you are. Be it with hoodies or tees, our merch will allow you to embody the memories of some of the greatest characters, both men and women, that fill the pages of the campaigns. Yet my personal favorite are the mugs. Some will boost your morning coffee with tales of glory or defiance, others will calm your Earl Greys with stunning landscapes, whilst the screenshots from my other channel will keep you daydreaming until your next match. So go on, click the link below or follow the QR code on screen and grab your AoH Histories merch, which by doing so you'll be directly supporting me in creating more amazing content for you. Now, back to the video. Set amidst the gentle landscape of Ravenna, a city once at the center of the Western Roman Empire, this mausoleum stands as a stark, powerful testament to a world in transition. Built around 520 AD during the reign of Theodoric the Great, king of the Ostrogoths, this monumental tomb reflects a ruler who sought to bridge Roman legacy with a Gothic identity at the twilight of antiquity. Unlike Ravenna's famed mosaic-filled churches, the mausoleum is constructed entirely of Istrian stone, its design austere and resolute. The building rises in two decagonal tiers, each carefully fitted with blocks of stone that speak to extraordinary craftsmanship. But it is the roof that defines the structure's uniqueness, for it is made out of a single colossal monolith weighing more than 300 tons. Carved from one massive piece of limestone and lifted into place by methods still debated today, the dome evokes both Roman engineering mastery and the distinct architectural traditions of the Gothic elites. The mausoleum's interior reflects Theodoric's intentions, a solemn resting place that preserves dignity without imperial access. The lower chamber served ritual purposes, while the upper chamber, accessed by an external stairway, held the porphyry sarcophagus where Theodoric was laid to rest. Though his remains were removed centuries later, the chamber still bears the marks of late antique funerary architecture, balancing Gothic simplicity with Roman monumental form. Theodoric's reign was defined by efforts to stabilize the fractured Italy. His mausoleum captures this delicate duality. It stands neither as a purely Roman tomb nor as a wholly Gothic creation. as a fusion of two worlds striving to coexist in an age of titanic shifts in identity. Nestled amidst the misty slopes of Yinshan Mountain, the pagoda forest rises like a silent city of stone, each tower a sentinel of fate and memory. For the Jin dynasty who ruled northern China in the 12th and 13th centuries, these pagodas were more than monuments. They were expressions of devotion, cosmic order, and the enduring presence of Buddhism amidst the shifting winds of the age. The forest once numbered dozens of towers, each built to honor the revered monks and the temples they served. Today, 18 remain, their octagonal forms soaring 20 to 30 meters, crowned with multi-tiered eaves and perched upon massive Sumeru pedestals. Intricate carvings of lotus blossoms, guardian figures and sacred inscriptions transform each pagoda into a narrative in stone, a dialogue between human craft and divine aspiration. Constructed during the height of the Jurchen power, these pagodas also reflect a civilization at a crossroads. The Jin rulers maintained the bureaucratic and architectural traditions of northern China, whilst asserting their own identity, creating structures that were at once austere, monumental, and deeply spiritual. As centuries passed, the forest witnessed dynasties rise and fall, from the Yuan to the Ming to the Qing. Yet the towers endured, rooted firmly in the mountain, silent but eloquent. Walking through the forest, one senses more than history. One senses a persistence. The wind rustles through pines and eaves as if carrying whispered prayers from generations past. Here, in this quiet northern sanctuary, devotion meets durability, as faith is cast in stone. The Yinshan Pagoda forest reminds us that wonders need not dominate with size or opulence. Sometimes, true marvel lies in endurance, in the ability of human belief to carve permanence into the fleeting world. On the rolling steppes of Mongolia, where horizons stretch uninterrupted to the sky, the great tent of Genghis Khan once rose as the symbolic heart of an empire that spanned continents. Known as the Golden Tent, it was not merely a shelter, it was a mobile palace, a seat of power, and the center of administration for the Mongol Khans. Today, it no longer stands, and what we know of its appearance comes from traveler accounts, historical chronicles, and the enduring traditions of Mongolian yurt construction. Built in the early 13th century, the tent combined practicality with grandeur. Its framework, likely composed of finely crafted wooden poles and covered with felt and textiles dyed in vivid colors, created a dome which was both sturdy and portable. Contemporary accounts describe a central, circular structure adorned with banners, insignia, and luxurious finishings, carpets, silk hangings, and golden accents marking it as the seat of the most powerful man in the world. It was a space where strategy was forged, emissaries were received, and decisions that echoed across Eurasia were made. The design of the Great Tent reflects the ingenuity of a nomadic architecture, flexible, efficient, and perfectly suited to the demands of a nomadic court ruling over an empire. The Mongols carried their power across thousands of kilometers, and the Golden Tent symbolized that mobility, authority that moved with the Khan, rather than fixed in a capital city. Although it survives only in imagination and reconstructions, the Great Tent endures as a testament to Genghis Khan's vision, a structure where leadership, culture, and majesty converge. It reminds us that not all wonders are built to last in stone. Some endure only in the memory of those who witnessed them, in the chronicles of the travelers, and in the incredible silhouette of a nomadic people who forged an empire and changed the world. And with those 5 civs, we have now covered 40 of the 50 wonders we have in 2025, and I wonder, which one was your favorite? If you have enjoyed this journey through the real-world inspirations of the AoE2 wonders, give this video a like as it truly helps immensely. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Age of Histories so you don't miss another dive into the structures, leaders and events behind the game we all love. There's so much more to explore, but goodbye for now, and thank you for watching.